Coming back from school as I grabbed my Resident Evil 4 disc and put it in my PlayStation 2, followed by this legendary and iconic startup sound, to be met with this bizarre and weird menu. As I click the new game button, then I hear Resident Evil, which sent at the time shivers down my spine. Then I knew I would be in for a life-changing experience, which is the topic of this video, as I will talk in separate small chapters how every quality of this game improved my life in various ways. Hello everybody and welcome to my King Legend channel. As I was 11 years old, this game was my first Resident Evil game. Furthermore, it was really a breathtaking experience at the time, as I really haven't experienced a horror game beforehand. This was also my first horror game. The atmosphere was scary, the gameplay mechanics were crazy fun. Graphically the game was revolutionary. The art style was something out of this world. So first let's talk about how this experience made me face challenges that I really never thought were possible before. I was even scared to look at horror movies posters. I was scared to talk with people in the street as I was very shy. This game really had this addicted side to it, as when I started it, I was just with the running mechanic, I was just blown away, as I was saying, whoa, this guy who's running is so realistic. And I felt saw like the broom and the smoke in the air, the ravens next to me. And I kept running and running and running until I found this house with this villager inside of it. And back then, as I said, this first Resident Evil game, first horror game I played, 11 years old, on the PlayStation 2. The atmosphere was crazy. And enter this house and I find this guy. I said, oh thank God, somebody familiar. And then he takes out his axe and just throws it at you. And I said, after beating the villager, as I go up the stairs and I hear the villagers knocking on the doors, I jump off the window, which was very moving as I'm rolling and spinning in the air. And I was afraid of heights back then as a kid. So the game somehow helped me get over this fear, which brings me to my next point. As a kid, I was terrified of the dark. As you can see, Resident Evil 4 setting is very dark, as we play in this dark world, this dark village, this dark castle, the dark island at the end. And I had to push through the game, since the game was very fun, and the merchant places were the only light of the game, as you hear the Serenity soundtrack. As you save the game, upgrade your ammo, then you get to continue your journey in the game, getting over this darkness, beating enemies, defeating bosses, until you finish the game, which at the time was a huge accomplishment for me, as I got a huge sense of satisfaction at the end. And after the game, I was able to face a lot of challenges in life that I really did not think I was able to face back in the day, as I was a very shy, introvert individual. Another fear that this game helped me get through is the fear of taking higher challenges, challenges that we think are impossible. This game posed to me as a challenge at first that will be impossible to complete. But as I was playing the game, I adapted and I improved. I played better, got better, upgraded my character, weapons, everything. Something that we need to do in life too, as we need to take on challenges that we think we cannot handle. Well, yes, we think that we cannot handle them, that are in our own reach, of course, because of course we cannot take challenges that are impossible to take. And this game was one of those challenges, you take one step at a time. I played Resident Evil 4 first, then I played Resident Evil 1, then 2, then 3. Because I'm pretty sure if I played Resident Evil 1 or any of the 3 classics at the first time, like as my first Resident Evil games or horror games, I would not complete them as I would be just scared right away off the menu, as their menus were much scarier than Resident Evil 4 menu. Furthermore, it's the same thing with life. It's the same comparison. You take on a challenge that seems to be impossible to take, and as you take this challenge, you improve, upgrade yourself. And then you complete the challenge and you are ready for a higher challenge, a much more difficult challenge that will take you to higher heights in life. Or like it's like when you do high school studies and university studies, take up internships, jobs, as you upgrade your skills, upgrade your skill set, upgrade your personality, your writing skills. It's the same thing with life. The gameplay mechanics of this game were just too good for its time, as it inspired many iconic and legendary games, like Dead Space for example, as we could do the quick turn and use the knife, which are mechanics that made their return from the previous games of course, but this game improved them with the third person view. And also we have the suplex, the kick, also the gunplay was just so good, because the sound design of the guns made the guns feel like real guns in your hand as you shoot zombies. Also, the damage was located as if you shoot a zombie, that's not a zombie, it's a villager, or because they were infected with the Las Plagas. It was, well, let's call them just zombies for simplicity. So if you shoot them in the head, of course, they will be stunned. If you shoot them in the leg, they will either fall or hold their knees. If you shoot them with their hand, they will like turn. Which things that were revolutionary back in the day, because no game, if I'm not mistaken, did that. Like that was just too realistic. And that just helped me get through a period in my life that was really stale, as I was going through my teenage years in school. You know, with bullying and all that stuff. You came back home, you play this game, you are feel so powerful, and just gives you this, you know, it gives you this energy, it gives you this happiness that you are, saving this girl from all these evil people. You are, you get off this island, you destroy the island, you are the hero. That's a huge part of this game that really made me happy back then. Which brings me to my next point, which is the crazy great good atmosphere and artistic elements of the game that I will talk about soon. The atmosphere in this game was just so unique, as that was because of the artistic direction and the sound design, of course. The artistic direction was inspired from very medieval time. As you can see here, for example, this gameplay in the castle, there are these walls that are designed such a way. The village also looks dark with the fog, the trees, and also the leaves on the ground. You also have the island at the end. That isn't the best part of the game, but the atmosphere. In this like hospital where we find the regenerators monsters that generate, that you have to pick a special sniper for just to beat them, because it locates the weak links. This game pretty much made my artistic skills just shoot up, as I had a much higher standard for the art style in the video games in general. That's why I loved The Witcher 3, as the art style in that game was amazing. And yeah, so now which brings me to my next point, which is the great level design of the game and the good puzzles, and how they helped me improve my mental capacity and skills in life in general. The level design in this game was quite more simplified than the previous games, as we had a map that showed the objectives in a much clearer way. Which isn't something that really is a big positive of this game. But for me personally, it was simple enough for me like to progress throughout the game and learn the basic mechanics and basic gameplay and level design for Resident Evil games, because this game really took the level design of the original games and made it simplified for new players. like me for example at the time, as I was very young. Also, the puzzles were good, I think, in my opinion. They really helped me improve my mental capacity and improve my IQ. As the more I solved these puzzles and improved throughout the game, the more I progressed throughout this level design, the more I optimized my playtime, optimized how I use my weapons, how I solve these things, and stuff like that. Because the game also had the professional mode, which really, where you pretty much just replay the game in a much better way. And you use everything better, you do everything better, and the enemy's AI is much harder to deal with. Also, the mercenary mode was something great, as you have to really manage your inventory very well in order to succeed and unlock the unlockables that really help you in the main game. And yeah, that's about it for the level design and the puzzles, which brings me to my next point. I'm really confident in Capcom's ability to remake this game, as they've made a really good job with the Resident Evil 2 remake, and hopefully they learned the lesson from the Resident Evil 3 remake, so they should not cut any content. They should make, and they should keep the integrity of the whole game, and hopefully they keep the same art style and improve it with the new RE engine, graphics and ray tracing, as ray tracing would really improve the tone of this game, as you can see, since we have a lot of shadows and a lot of dark areas. Ray tracing will really come in handy with the lights and stuff like that. So yeah, that's about it for my hopes and expectations. And what else can we expect? Like, yeah, that's it. Like, make the guns more realistic, improve the gameplay mechanics, as we saw in the trailers. I think they improved that too. Yeah, I really like Capcom's approach to these remakes. As Resident Evil 2 remake was one of my favorite games, last generation on PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah, another thing that they should improve is the puzzles. I hope they make the puzzles a little bit more challenging. Also, improve the section with Ashley, because I think that was too short. And maybe add more gameplay mechanics and dynamics to make this section more interesting to play, as it was really interesting back then too. But making it more interesting right now will be great. So yeah, I'm really confident with this remake, and I really hope it will be a great game, and hopefully one contender, and hopefully game of the year. Why not? Or one of the contenders at least. Also, I hope they make some tweaks to the story to make it more interesting, and also keep the sound effects of the druids, or the religious zombies as I like to call them. And that's about it. That's all I have to say today. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Have a great day.